that he needed to scratch musically, he did that. Now, what was your experience being on the inside of that process?
The inside was beautiful because Prince was sharing, um, what people made him out to be. He described it to me perfectly. He says, I'm going to do my Prince voice. He says, Kiss puts on makeup, they play their shows, and they create what they want to create, and then they go home. This is no different from what I do.
Wow.
And Prince created Prince. He created Prince from everything, every facet of Prince he created, and he was extremely intentional about who saw what. So
Wow.
you saw the guy that was so matter of factish, whatever. No, that didn't impress me. Prince. And
Mm-hmm.
but then the person we saw, he was always joking, constantly cracking jokes, constantly rehearsing, really fueled by the power of the music. But he was also always tapped into history. My
Okay.
my first time of even knowing who the Nicholas brothers was Prince, James
Wow.
Brown. So he
Mm-hmm.
just wasn't the person that was giving us music, but he was invested in the making sure that whatever he did followed the rites of passage of what came before him. And that's what made him so powerful. So Prince, how can I describe Prince? Prince is a person that's fascinated with the root.
Okay.
You can appreciate the leaves, but soon as the storm of the industry comes, the first thing to go are the leaves, a
Right.
hurricane, whatever, but the root of the tree stays the same. Prince always made sure that we understood who the great women of jazz was. Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan,
Mm-hmm.
Charlie
Yeah.
Parker, Sonny Stitt, Sonny Rollins, Ornette Coleman, Pharoah Sanders, Duke Ellington, Bird, Train. So he was a deep, deep musician. So when you see how much he knows, how much he can play, it's because he understood the root of all of this music and jazz, funk, soul, wherever you want to go. He goes right back to the Negro spiritual. And that's what made him
Mm-hmm.
so special because um, his entertainment value was one thing, but the core of it came from his fascination and love for the history of music.
Yeah, and just to work with those three, Stevie, Michael, and Prince, all rolled into one. And we see them as genius level, and that's how I look at you. I mean, you put things together in your head that I think people who are musically inclined, we can't even begin to figure out where did he get that note from out of that. And I think that's what's so fascinating about you and how you play is that how you get to where you're going to get to is not the norm
I gotta,
place
yeah,
to get there.
I have to tell a story. So
Okay, come on.
there's some times that I have to tell a musical story where you get from point A to point B to point C, and it all comes by way of different interludes that really touch on different facets of the culture. So
Okay.
I remember when I was a kid, I was okay. There was one station, all the WBLS was all the way up
Hmm.
at the top,
Right.
107.5. And
Right.
then 89 point U, the Columbia University station, was at
Hmm.
89. So I would be listening to Dexter Gordon and then going up to Mr. Magic and listening to The Bridges Over and then going back down to 89 point U and listening to um, Charles Mingus Big Band and then going back
Hmm.
up. So the natural understanding and love of jazz and hip hop came
Right.
from the core of something that was out of love and not something that was out of this is cool now, so let's do it. Um,
Right.
so those arrangements and different things that I do come at the price of studying and understanding the core essence of who's who. Like you love hip hop and you don't know who African Bambaataa is?
Right.
the
Right.
Furious Four, or you love jazz and you want to just keep it as smooth jazz, and you don't know where Charlie Parker was born or who
Right.
Coltrane's second wife was. So we, as the culture's already laid out for us, they already did their
Hmm.
job. Our job, and what I love about city of Atlanta and the jazz festival is that they are all about the culture. So when you
Right.
go to this jazz festival, you're going to hear something funky. You're going to hear some straight ahead. You're going to hear
Right.
something burning. You're going to hear something like jungle. It's
Yeah.
all our culture. And again, if we're fascinated with the root of the tree, then everything else will be fine. So it all
Yeah.
starts with Louis Armstrong. So I just love being a part of such a great festival that truly gives us the root of the tree that culminated from the Negro spiritual that everybody can enjoy through one of the best festivals, I say, in the whole world.
And that is the best. I think that is probably the best way to describe the Atlanta Jazz Festival because definitely they touch that.
Yeah,
So I think that's
yeah,
really cool
they be
that you
swinging.
told us about that.
Yes, they be swinging. I mean,
Yeah,
one time
everything.
I was there. I heard Russell Gunn was tearing.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
Phillips.
literally. I mean, there was literal fire on the stage where
Yep.
we get the energy from the crowd. So you got this great, beautiful, diverse crowd where now the energy of music doesn't, it's not mutually exclusive to gender, race, socioeconomic background, money. No, everybody is there because
Right.
of the beauty and musicians communicating to a point where all of Piedmont Park is literally vibrating with just good vibes and great
Yeah.
music. And the energy in there is like a bubble of just good
Right.
vibes that's coming from musicians, world class musicians, and people all coming together from all types of life, man. I love it. So I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, I mean, it is positive, and that's what I think that's what music does, and that's what you've done for us. You've made us have fun again, with what you do, because we can tell when we're watching you on stage, we know for a fact, without a doubt, that you're enjoying what it is that you do.
Every bit.
And that makes us even more excited to watch you because we see how much you enjoy your craft and how much fun you have with what you do. So I mean, it just gives us that feeling. It's that feeling that's almost hard to describe, but you give us that, Mike, and you always have done that. You leave everything on the stage. Every time I've seen you play, and you and I have worked together a lot, but
Numerous.
every time you play, you leave everything on the stage. And not a lot of artists do that. They'll play there and then it's over. But you leave everything on the stage. And I think that's just incredible. And I thank you for doing it that way because you set the bar so high for artists to go there, to leave everything on the stage.
And then I think it's about your motivation. Like
Hmm.
if you're in it for the money, if you're in it
Yeah,
to be seen, or if you're in it to have certain records played, then what happens is that the standards that will those standards will guide you to the promised land that you made for yourself.
right.
And we all should have some sort of mission statement. Like exactly, like, why are we here? If God has blessed you with this awesome gift, what is it? What's the end game for that
Right.
gift? So,
Right.
I really had to sit down and understand, like, do I have a mission statement? I was running around recording with this person, playing with this person, being on the road. And at one point, I felt like a rat in the maze, just getting
Oh
a
wow.
whole bunch of cheese, but having to sit down and not move until my purpose of why I'm doing this would come to fruition. So to give people joy and happiness through the gift of music that I've been blessed with is what
Yeah.
drives me. And now that I have a very specific engine that drives my purpose. Leaving it all on the floor is a part
Mm-hmm.
of what's in the engine. So there isn't no compromise. Like there's sometimes where contractually, okay, you're set for 45 minutes. And if it's a smaller venue and I look at the venue and they say, "Yo, you can go." I'll lay it on the floor for another hour.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will.
Because it's worth everything to show, because like I said, we all got to get to a point where we have nothing to prove but everything to share. Because I'll tell you
Right.
one thing: proving and sharing cannot occupy the same space at the same time.
That's true.
So in jazz, sometimes when we have the so-called jazz police out, it's almost like, okay, they're judging your notes, okay, your intonation, blah blah blah, this and that, this and that. And then sometimes when those people are on the other side of when you play, you end up playing for them and not for the people and why the gift exists. So sometimes we have to really separate ourselves from trying to prove something and just use the God-given gift you have to communicate as a musician, to put on the best show that you can and share. The saxophone for me is an inanimate object that if I put it down, nothing is going to happen. So my experiences, my pain, my joy, everything that flows through me has to flow through that horn. And that horn is sort of like Rosetta Stone. It's the translator. And then
Yeah.
after that, people will get it. And I hope, when I play this fall, that those good vibes will reverberate all around Piedmont Park, just not from me, but every world class artist that performs at the Atlanta Jazz Festival.
Well, I tell you what, Mike, like you've never disappointed, so I can't see that this fall would be any different. But let's switch gears a little bit because you did something, so many years ago that I think I can't say that I know anyone else who's done what you've done. And you're the only non-athlete on brand Jordan.
Yes,
I mean,
everybody that Michael has
most of the
signed.
time they look for the dudes with the
Uh-huh.
basketballs in their hands or the golf swing or something, but you're the only non-athlete that managed to be an endorser and they endorse you. And how did that come about?
Well, me and Jill Scott were the first artists on Hidden Beach, and Michael Jordan was one of the primary investors in the label.
Okay.
So now I'm playing at these basketball games, and word gets back to Nike that there's this young fella that's doing this amazing national anthem at these games, and we should consider signing him to the brand. No, he doesn't play basketball, or he can't jump 37 inches, but the effect of what he does when he plays the horn can bring good feelings. So we went through a little thing, and contract was signed, and all of a sudden I am looking at a contract that says that Nike will pay me, Brand Jordan will pay me to be the first non-athlete. So Michael Jordan picks everyone. So
Okay.
just it's an honor because I've been a fan of his drive, a fan of his no quit energy. So I have to not only represent myself, but I'm going out there and representing the greatest man who ever played the game of basketball. And for him to say, "Yo, I want you to be the musical representation of what my standards are in this brand." It's a lot. So that's why I
Oh
come
yeah.
out swinging, because I can't let that investment be like, "Oh, Michael's okay." No, I gotta. So that's why I practice. I gotta work. The show's gotta be innovative, be different. They gotta make people groove, but also they have to represent the quality of what the integrity that Michael had in basketball. So again, going back, Michael was effective because he studied Kareem. He studied Moses Malone. Dr. J
Right.
was, his mentor. So again, I saw it out Grover, Washington when I was in high school. Kirk Whalum gave me lessons when he was playing for Whitney Houston when I tracked him down in New York. I stalked Kirk Whalum when I was 17 years old because I really feel that history is important.
Right. It is. It is. And that was an incredible thing. And I remember when that happened, and I was so proud of you, when that happened, to say the first non-athlete. And
Yeah.
if you really think about that, that's big stuff.
And I and
That's
I signed that contract in Atlanta. Like I was
did you? I didn't
yes.
know that.
Yes.
Okay.
So after I saw you in 94 and I felt this good energy in the city of Atlanta, I moved there. I moved there
Yeah.
in 99
Yeah.
and I signed with Brand Jordan in 2001
Okay.
and the city of Atlanta, I signed with Hidden Beach when I was in Atlanta.
Wow.
And when I did the hip hop and jazz compilation, Atlanta radio played the whole record from start to finish.
Yes, we did.
You
All of it.
played all of Unwrapped,
All of it.
and
All of it.
to the point where you remember about, I know we dating ourselves, Circuit City. Remember Circuit City?
Yeah, I
There was
remember.
a line outside the doors for Circuit City, people trying
Yeah.
to get the Unwrapped CD. So I tell
Yeah.
you, it comes full circle to
Yeah.
really come back and play this fall at Piedmont Park Atlanta
Yeah.
Jazz Festival because the city has we can always talk about these things that I've accomplished, but there are people in this city, including you, that
Oh.
helped me and propelled me to those things that I don't necessarily want to brag about, but I want to be proud to understand that the community of Atlanta absolutely helped me.
Well, thank you for saying that because, Atlanta loves you. We love you on purpose. Let me just say that. We definitely do. And, we need to switch gears to this latest project. I
Oh,
mean, when I don't know how I got it. I don't know if you sent it to me, the video or something, or I grabbed it off your page. The slave watching you. I was like, this right here. I said, oh, I felt like let's put the record on.
oh,
Let's put the record on.
we got to pause. Oh, okay. Um, I think what was really cool is Brian McKnight. When I played it to Brian, I said, "Yo, let's do something different." I know this is a song that was made famous by Slave watching you,
Slave, yeah.
but shout out to Steve Arrington. So I just wanted to do something different. So Brian was up for it, and the groove. So when I put this album together, I said, okay, I had songs that I like on one side
Yeah.
and the feelings that I want on the other side, and I just matched them. So Flavor in Your Ear was
Yeah.
matched with the feeling of Manhattan Transfer and Take Six.
Hmm.
Watching You, I wanted to feel like Jamiroquai.
Wow.
So it was a hodgepodge of just connecting the things that I love to feel with the songs that I like. So Watching You happened to be my Jamiroquai. Because I love that. I performed with Jamiroquai
Oh
at the
wow.
MTV um, Europe Awards. So that feeling in conjunction with Brian McKnight singing Watching You with a Jamiroquai type groove, but still
Right.
those vocals, it was a pleasure to make. But I'm gonna say, a lot of musicians don't like to admit, or have some level of vulnerability as it pertains to being nervous. I was super nervous
Are you
because,
serious? I
yes,
can't see that.
straight up nervous because
I
this
can't
is a
see it.
hit. This is a bona fide hit, and you know how people be. They be like,
Right.
yeah, he did that song over. He be doing the most. I don't like it. And then and then if you stick too much to it, it'll end up
Right.
being, well, shoot, I just could listen to the original if he gonna sit up here and do this just like the original. So that balance between pushing the envelope and
Yeah.
respecting the integrity of the song, after you make it, you're just like, oh man, I hope it works out. And sometimes things work based on people's opinion, not
Yeah.
necessarily what you feel. So I was a little nervous, but once I started feeling the energy of people and how they enjoyed it. And I just want people to enjoy the greatness of Slave and Steve Arrington because these
Oh
covers
yeah.
stand on the
Yeah.
shoulder of the real. So it ain't no replacement. What it is,
Right.
it's just a different spin for us to groove to, but also get back to giving songs and artists like that their flowers.
And you did on that one because I mean, I immediately when I tell you I posted on everything that I could post on social, I said, "You guys got to hear this. You guys got
Oh,
to hear this." And you know how I get excited about music anyway. But Mike, we're really excited that this fall that you're involved in the Atlanta Jazz Festival. This is so exciting, and I know you so well. I mean, just so well. We could just talk for hours about old times and new times and all of that. First, before I do the thing that I always do, how's the family doing?
everybody is good. We just got back from Cabo. Um,
Okay,
you know, they've been in front of computer screens, the kids, so it's not, this is not a way to, socially engage,
right,
constantly on the screen. But we have to do what we have to do in order for us
right,
to be safe. And that's why I know when we come out for this jazz festival, and all the protocols being followed and us still working through everything because the normal is going to be new, but one thing that's not going to be new is the music that we're going to bring and the
right.
energy that comes with it. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. The family was
Yeah,
good. We just hung out and had some fun, and I golfed a lot too.
yeah. I was gonna say that's your thing too. Now is that you got golf tournaments coming up and all that. I've been keeping up with you. I keep
Mm,
up with you. So
yes.
that's really a cool thing. But you know what, Mike? I know the greatness of Mike. I've always known the greatness of Mike. And I know that an extension of one of your arms is the other arm is that sax. And you got to pick it up and just give us something. Can you do that for us?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me
All
find.
right.
Okay, let me pull. Okay, look. Oh my God, look at it. It's right
Oh, Brett,
here.
look at there.
Oh my God, it's like an arm, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, I told you, it's just like an arm.
So here you
Okay.
go. Ain't it funky? Hey, oh, ain't it funky? Ain't it funky? This fall, Atlanta Jazz Festival. Let's go.
I love it.
Ain't it funky? I mean, we just gotta have some fun. This is
Always,
I got
after the year we've had, we got to have fun, and that's what's necessary.
man. 2021 started kind of crazy too. We was like looking like, is this
Oh,
20?
repeat.
Is this
Is this a
2020 in
repeat?
in disguise? but
Yeah,
but no, 2021 we are good. This
yeah,
fall I cannot wait. Thank
yeah,
you to the city of Atlanta, Mayor's Office of Cultural Affairs for having me. um, Atlanta has been a support system to my whole career. So being asked to come back and play this again, it
oh yeah,
makes my heart happy. But also, I tell people like you got to show up in Atlanta because Atlanta is one of those cities where you got to
yeah,
put your best show on because
yeah,
Atlanta be like, mm-hmm. So we will be
yeah.
rehearsing. We are going to be on top of our game, and I cannot wait to play this brand new show in Atlanta for my people. Thank you, Camille Love, and everybody that's affiliated with this great festival, the keeping it alive. And we understand, even in sometimes, the municipal funds for making sure the arts are part of our
Mm-hmm.
culture, getting those funds, we can always play the jazz festival, but getting those funds and understanding that there sometimes is a fight to make sure that kids get band instruments and the art and the culture. So
Right.
the Office of Cultural Affairs just making sure that these events are here to stay. And not only they're doing them, but they do them at a high level, great sound, great staging, great lighting, great everything. And have the city come out and support it. I mean, I love it. So thank you, because for every the corona has decimated venues all around the country.
Right.
So our genre is, it's in peril right now because of
Right.
the venues that are closing down. So for city to make sure that the funding is there to keep things like
Right.
this going, I got to just applaud the city and thank you for making sure that this festival and the culture of the rich culture of our music is here to stay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and for them, even in the pandemic, there was still the Atlanta Jazz Festival. So I
Yeah,
thought that was really cool.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
like, they went on anyway, and they kind of moved with whatever was going on, which is, that's a testament to that office. So yeah, hats off to them and
Yeah.
what they're doing. But Mike, it's always a pleasure. Please, hug the entire family for me.
I will.
And I
I
can't
will.
wait to see you.
I can't wait
I
to see.
can't.
I
In the
cannot.
fall, it's
Yeah,
going to be on and pop.
it's gonna be crazy.
I know. So I'll see you soon.
All right, most definitely.
All
Thank you so
right. Take
much.
care. All righty.
All right, bye.